Hello, we're back today to talk about a gun you don't see every day with this Beretta 93R, which is the burst-capable version of the Beretta 92. Although we'll see that there are quite a few differences between the 92 and the 93R. But before I talk about this pistol, I'd like to thank the 3e Régiment du Génie for allowing me to film this weapon, and a big thank you also to my supporters at TP, who allow me to do all my traveling, so feel free to join them if you can, of course. The concept of having a pistol capable of firing in burst or automatic mode dates back to the early 20th century. Soon after the adoption of the first semi-automatic pistols, there was a desire to design variants capable of firing in automatic mode to serve as a kind of ersatz machine pistol. And one of the first examples is the C93 Schnellfeuer, built by Mauser, as well as its copies manufactured by the Spanish companies Star and Astra. This type of weapon will return from time to time in history, notably after the Second World War with the Stechkin, designed in the 50s, then in the 70s with the HKV P70 and our Beretta 93R. This Beretta was designed in parallel with the Beretta 92 and was initially built for Italian police intervention groups. And this wasn't Beretta's first attempt to design a pistol capable of burst firing, as the company had designed the Beretta model 9951R in the 50s. Incidentally, the letter R stands for Raffica, which is Italian for burst. This Beretta 93R was manufactured from 1977 onwards, and the last examples were produced in the 90s. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find the exact number of these Beretta 93R, but they're much better known in popular culture, in movies and video games, than for their actual use. And now that we've had a little background on the development of this weapon, let's take a closer look at this Beretta 93R and see how it differs from its semi-automatic counterpart. As you can see, this Beretta 93R is very similar to the Beretta 92. However, there are a few parts that are interchangeable between the two. First of all, we have our barrel, which is obviously longer. It measures 15.6 centimeters, and we can see that it has an integrated compensator. The slide and frame are quite angular, giving this pistol a slightly futuristic look, even though it was designed, as I said, in the 70s. In front of the trigger guard, there's a swivel handle, which we'll use to hold the gun steady when firing in bursts. You can also see that the trigger guard is widened so that you can put your thumb in the trigger guard, giving us a good grip on the weapon when firing a burst. Another important difference is that the weapon no longer fires. In double action, it's only in single action. We have the same slide release lever as the Beretta 92, but we no longer have the slide mounted safety. Let's have a look at this safety, which is at the rear, and of course our firing selector, semi-auto or 3-shot burst. And in burst mode, the theoretical rate of fire is around 1,100 shots per minute. We can also see that on the 93R, the safety is not ambidextrous and obviously no longer acts as a decocker. Initially, the 93R was designed to use 20-round magazines like this one, but of course it remains compatible with other magazines intended for the Beretta 92. Finally, underneath the grip, the system for attaching a stock. Here it is. It's a folding stock, so we're going to unfold it. We have a pin like this. We lock it. And then you can put the gun against your shoulder and fire. Disassembly of the 93R is identical to that of the Beretta 92. First, of course, we check that the gun is unloaded. We remove our magazine. When the safety is engaged, we can no longer manipulate the slide, so we move it to the fire position. And we have our disassembly lever. and a push button on the other side. And just like on a 92, you hold it down with your index finger, and you turn the lever. We've got our recoil spring and remove our barrel, which is longer than that of the 92. We have our classic falling block, which will participate in locking. In semi-automatic mode, the gun operates like a Beretta 92, i.e. recoil operated, and locked by a falling block. When fired, the whole slide and barrel move backwards a few millimeters, then the locking block is forced down to allow the slide to continue moving backwards. This is typically followed by extraction, ejection of the case, then the whole assembly moves forward again, chambering a cartridge, then the barrel and block move back into position. When the selector is switched to burst mode, an additional mechanism on the right-hand side of the 93R is activated. This mechanism relies on a toothed bar to enable the hammer to strike the firing pin 3 times in succession. Let's try out our Beretta 93R. Thank you very much. Now then, we're going to install its stock as we saw earlier. The little lug, we lock it. The slide remains open, perfect. The Beretta 93R is a rather rare weapon, and even if it hasn't been a great success, surely because of its rather complex handling when shooting compared to small submachine gun like the MP5K or a micro Uzi, it's not the last pistol of its kind. Glock and CZ will respectively produce the Glock 18, and CZ will produce an automatic version of the CZ75, Glock in the 80s and CZ in the 90s. And it's always interesting to see this type of weapon making its way back into history on a regular basis. In any case, I hope this video has enabled you to find out more about this Beretta 93R. As usual, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, and if you can, to support my work through the TP in the description. See you soon for another video.